A very good evening. I'm Brian Banda tonight with the news at 8. Here are our top stories. Former Reserve Bank Governor Dalitso Kabambe still mum on his next political move after dumping opposition DPP. President Lazarus Chakwera has hinted on traveling to Germany soon to source aid for Malawi. And also tonight, High Court set to deliver ruling on the bus depot case involving business person Leston Muli on September 5 this year. We have these and other stories. Thanking you for joining us tonight for the news at 8. And if you can, please, let's be together. Story tonight, former governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi, Dalitso Kabambe, is still keeping a tight lead on his next political move despite growing reports linking him to UTM party. Kabambe dumped opposition Democratic Progressive DPP a few days ago. During his public lecture at Mzuzu University on Friday, Kabambe spelled out strategies and policies he believes can transform the northern region and Malawi as a whole. From Mzuzu, our very own Sam Kalimira reports tonight.
Kabambe was responding to a question from Isaac Ziwa from the civil society sector, who was part of the public lecture. He also said his joining of politics in 2020 was fueled by anger that the government was not taking heed of his pieces of advice.
Last week, I dissociated myself from the DPP. Actually, I was there from 2020 to 2024. I think I'm now rich with experience, rich with knowledge, how you play politics. Before that, for 24 years, I was a public servant. So I was a master in public service. I would think that I'm also now a master in politics over my 4-year experience in DPP. I've learned a lot. But in terms of where I'm going, you'll come to know very soon.
In his 7-point presentation done in about 1 hour, Kabambe, among others, recommended a full-scale reorganization of the public sector, repositioning of bilateral and multilateral arrangements, recalibrating macroeconomic fundamentals, and adopting a no-nonsense approach in fighting corruption. Further, Kabambe noted that the country has not done well in borrowing. He said there is a need for mindset change and development based on what is in the country rather than relying on donors, debtors to bail the country out. Reflecting on Kabambe's lecture, Nika Institute Executive Director Moses Mkandavire said development is a right, highlighting the need for federal system of government. Ziwa also agreed with Mkandavire.
People have promised us all these things and not much has happened. We don't know how he would be different if he was given that position of power. And also he seems to articulate issues very well from the economic perspective. But I think the politics is not very clear as to what would be the launch pad of his dreams, of his ambitions for this country. So yeah, it leaves that bittersweet feeling. And you say, well, we have heard all this before.
Last month, Kabambe also held a similar lecture at Catholic University.
President Lazarus Chakwera says he will soon visit Germany to get aid for Malawi. He was speaking during the commissioning of new infrastructure projects at Domasi College of Education in Zomba on Friday. Charleston Maloa has a report read tonight by Sam Banda Jr.
Chakwera called on leaders not to undermine the relationships Malawi has with other nations. He said he has been called to Germany to get support to complete Domasi Community Hospital in Zomba. Chakwera further disclosed he would be going there to acquire new ships which would be sailing on Lake Malawi. Accompanied by Vice President Michael Usi, Chakwera earlier toured construction of Domasi Community Hospital and Zomba Stadium. He also handed over Nalikule College of Education, which was constructed in Lilongwe. The Japanese government is funding construction of the two projects.
Minister of Agriculture Sam Kawale says the government is making substantial investments in the agriculture sector to counteract the effects of climate change and ensure consistent food production. Kawale said this during an annual review meeting in Blantyre. From there, Matilda Majawa sent us this report.
The three-day meeting focused on assessing the previous year's achievements and challenges, outlining strategic plans for the upcoming year, and discussing the crucial role of irrigation in boosting agricultural productivity and food security in Malawi. Minister of Agriculture Sam Kawale underscored the government's efforts to combat hunger on a broader scale.
Well, the Malawi government through the Ministry of Agriculture has invested a lot in the agriculture sector because we are trying to mitigate the impact of climate change by making sure that we are now producing all year round. Now, over the past couple of years, we've seen development of massive irrigation schemes from Chitipa all the way to Nsanja. And even as recently as last month, where we started the construction of a 400-hectare irrigation project in Doha.
The annual review meeting drew various stakeholders from the agriculture sector.
The Malawi government and the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO have signed an agreement on a $53.2 million project which seeks to improve climate change resilience of rural communities at watershed level in the country. The resource envelope compromises $1 million from FAO, $9.4 million from the Malawi government, and a grant of $42.8 million from the Green Climate Fund. McDonald Tom has more in this report. It is read tonight by Fale Banda.
The project, called Ecosystems-Based Adaptation for Resilient Watersheds and Communities in Malawi, EBAM, will be implemented in 11 highly climate-prone districts in Malawi. During the signing ceremony of the project agreement in Lilongwe on Friday, Minister of Finance Simprex Chichola said the project will help in ensuring that Malawi has a safe, clean, secure and sustainable environment.
The program and the agreement has stipulated where exactly we are going to implement this. And maybe some people out there would say, why those districts? These are districts that are perpetually being hit by natural disasters. So the identification of such areas is in line with what our implementers say that they will make an impact. And we believe that over 500,000 households will actually benefit.
Food and Agriculture Organization country representative Shijun Shane said they are committed to contributing to the achievement of Malawi 2063.
FAO, through the formulation of the country program framework, through collaborating with all the development partners, and most importantly with the government ministries and the department, has been mobilizing investments and mobilizing technical resources to assist the local communities and to assist the government in building the resilience to climate change impacts, to promoting and advocate the climate-smart technologies and approaches.
The project will be implemented in Dedza, Zomba, Mangochi, Cholo, Neno, Mwanza, Nsanje, Nkatabe, Rumpi, Karonga and Chitipa districts.
High Court Judge Violet Chipao is on September 5 this year expected to deliver her ruling on what is widely called the bus depot case. In the case, the state is accusing business person Leston Muli of illegal acquisition of 5 bus depots and a workshop in Blantyre, Lilongwe and in Zuzu through his national bus company. Rebecca Chinjeka caught up with Attorney General Tabo Nyirenda, who is representing the state in the matter.
Did highlight that when you are disposing of public access or entering into an arrangement with government on any investment, you need to follow procedures that the statutes provide. So if procedures are not followed, you commit an offense. And that if you commit an offense, subject to that offense becomes a pursuit of crime.
And John Kalampa is one of the defense lawyers who pray for the dismissal of the case, arguing the property in question is with the government.
Concluded hearing of the matter, all witnesses had testified, so we're explaining to the court in brief what our case is all about, citing the authorities and essentially closing the matter and waiting for judgment.
Still with legal matters, lawyers representing Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary in the extradition case have asked the court to conclude hearing of the case by Tuesday next week. The accused are wanted in South Africa to answer money laundering and fraud charges. One of their lawyers, Annelien van den Heuvel, told the court in Lilongwe that further prolonging the case has financial implications on their clients. She explains more to our reporter Rebecca Chimjeka.
By the fact that he's a Nigerian, they don't like the way he practices his religion, and they just want him out of South Africa. That's why they set out to do what they did. We also showed, or I believe we demonstrated to the court, that these cases, these criminal cases, has its basis in this xenophobia, as well as the attempts by the police to extort money from him. You will recall we demonstrated through the Prophet's own words and through other witnesses that they tried to get him to pay them 10 million.
But state lawyer Zikondiantu Malunda objected to the application, saying it was unrealistic for them to be expected to make written and oral submissions within 4 days. He instead asking for 60 days.
I mean, there's progress. It appears we may indeed conclude the case in this sitting. As you heard, we have Monday, we have Tuesday, and at the end we just also asked the court that maybe at the back of our minds we should take into consideration the possibility of continuing on Wednesday. So the magistrate also accepted that that is indeed a possibility. So we are happy with the progress and hope to indeed finish the proceedings in this sitting. Justice demands that we accord due care to this case, just like any other case. It's impossible, looking at what has transpired in court throughout, the documents that have been tendered, that we could wake over the weekend and come up with reasonable or indeed sufficient submissions. If we did, we would be doing an injustice to the case, and that could potentially cause a miscarriage of justice.
You're watching Primetime News on Times Television. We have more news in a moment.
Boost, Betway's latest crash game. Bet and blast off with wins that can boost as high as 300%. Exclusive to Betway.
Yes, Loani. Zikomota kulandirani. Bwanji goti.
Chiolembera chino bwana.
Ife tu maoffice muno timagwirisa ntchito zolembera zake zimenezi. Cholembera ichi ndi cha bundle.
Zolembera za bundle zakazi kukutumikirani kwa nthawi yayitali. Pano ndikulengeza kuti tabwera ndi zolembera zatsopano zomwe zili m'mapangidwe awiri, classic ndi winner. Zolemberazi ndi zokongola, zolemba bwino komanso zolemba nthawi yayitali. Zolembera za bundle zimabwera m'mitundu inayi, black, blue, red ndi green, ndipo mutha kugwiritsa ntchito mu ofesi, ku sukulu ndi malo ena. Akupanga zolembera za bundle ndi a Euro Industries, kampani yeniyeni ya Chimalawi. Gulani katundu wopangidwa ku Malawi konkuno kuti mutukule dziko lanu. Phone Blantyre 0888 107 261, Lilongwe 0886 074 737. Bundle Buy original, avoid counterfeit. Bantley, right miles with a smile.
With the bulletin tonight, Lilongwe city authorities have admitted failing to sustainably manage waste in the city due to lack of disposal equipment. Environment officer responsible for waste management, Bedson Chidaumba, made the confession during the city cleaning exercise on Friday. More with Brenda Kyle.
Chidaumba said lack of skip bins in standard bins is affecting the council's effort to manage waste in the city. He said the council is struggling to purchase 37 skip bins, which cost 6 million each.
We've got a challenge of equipment at the Lilongwe City Council, but I can assure you that currently we have partners who are assisting us in installing some of these equipment at some of our markets, and some of them they have already started installing this equipment. And as Lilongwe City Council on its own is also trying its level best to make sure that these equipment are available, and we are discussing with the procurement office to make sure that the required equipment are available.
Green Cities Project Operation Manager Martin Manyonzo said the organization is committed to working with all councils in Malawi to ensure that the cities are green.
We would like to even have more partnership with other organizations, particularly the City Council. We believe the City Council can even do even more, because one thing which we discovered when we were interacting with people complained about the places of infrastructure. For example, bins, they were like, we really want to dispose properly, but bins are nowhere to be seen. So we believe if we can engage the City Council for more fundraising activities to raise those funds and to help in those infrastructure, that can even be better. So that's our way forward for the time.
The Green Cities Project conducted a city cleaning solidarity march starting from Lilongwe Community Ground, passing through Lilongwe Bus Depot to Lilongwe City Hall.
Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Luana, has reiterated its commitment towards the Malawi 2063 Development Agenda. Council Chairperson Professor Zachary Kasomekera made the pledge at the opening of the 4th session of the institution's 7th congregation. McDonald Tom reports tonight.
Kasomekera says Luana remains an active partner in the implementation of Malawi 2063, whose first pillar is agricultural productivity and commercialization. He says Luana is determined to maintain collaborative work with relevant stakeholders in tackling constraints to the attainment of Malawi 2063.
What is required is collaboration. The way I see this thing being put together is to have champions in various departments and various institutions. 20 Malawi 2063 champions. And these champions will be the contact points that can foster coordination and collaboration.
Minister of Education Madalitso Kambaowa Wirima urged the graduates to familiarize themselves with the development blueprint.
In their discharging their duties, whether they're going to be entrepreneurs, employing themselves, whether they're going to be employed by the government or the private sector, but they have to make sure that whatever they do actually aligns with the Malawi 2063.
Dorothy Luwe, one of the students who graduated with University Certificate of Education, says the knowledge and skills she has acquired will make her a better teacher of science subjects.
I did my bachelor's of science in forestry. I was not in education, but with this, I will impact knowledge to my fully best because of the knowledge which I've been impacted here at Rwanda.
A total of 745 students have graduated with certificates, diplomas and degrees. Out of these, 9 have been awarded master's degrees, while 3 have been awarded PhDs.
Catholic bishops have established an interregional conference called the Association of Catholic Bishops Conferences of Malawi, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The bishops from Malawi, Zambia and Zimbabwe say the association will help in solving challenges faced in the education and health sectors in the countries. They disclosed this on Thursday in Salima, at a press conference at the end of their second sub-region meeting. Pemphero Malimba has a report. It is read tonight by Brenda Kayo.
Episcopal Conference of Malawi President Archbishop George Desmond Tambara said the move will help to foster a good working relationship among bishops among the three countries in addressing challenges in various sectors, including health and education. Tambara said the association headquarters will be in Lusaka, Zambia.
So these areas are some of the gaps that have been outlined, have been discovered. Perhaps the biggest gap is that up to now we have not been working together so much. So we see that there's so much to cover, so much ground to cover. This in itself is a gap.
Association of Women Religious in Malawi chairperson Sister Jennifer Seliman, who was one of the delegates at the conference, said they are committed to working together with the bishops in promoting church growth.
All the areas that has been tackled in this conference also concerns us as religious. So we needed to take part together with the bishops to work together towards the pastoral ministry that are there, but also the spiritual growth of the church.
The conference brought together about 30 bishops from Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe.
Well, that item on the Catholic Church concludes the bulletin tonight. But before we go, let's have a look at our headlines again. Former Reserve Bank Governor Dalitso Kabambe is still mum on his next political move after dumping opposition DPP. President Lazarus Chakwera is hinting on traveling to Germany soon to source aid for Malawi. And High Court set to deliver ruling on the bus depot case involving business person Leston Muli on September 5 this year. You can get more on these and other stories we are pursuing by visiting times.mw. Our Facebook page is Times360 Malawi, and we are constantly tweeting on X. Our handle there is at Times360 Malawi. My name is Brian Banda, from all of us here at Times headquarters in Blantyre, wishing you the very best of the weekend. Goodbye.